Vinny Tortorich here. Hey man, if you're a fan of Izzy, you might be a fan of me too. I'm the guy that gets people to lose a lot of weight. I have something free for you guys. This is no clickbait. Just go to VinnyTortorich.com and there's a big banner. It's a free PDF, how to lose weight. It's an intro guide to NSNG at VinnyTortorich.com. Go check it out exclusively for anyone who listens to Izzy Presley. Thank you.
Replay Guitar Exchange is your premier independent guitar store. Being independent is good. With all of the major brands, including new, vintage, and pre-owned, you can find the guitar, bass, amp, or accessory you are dreaming of. From vintage to the newest models, Replay Guitar Exchange can help you find that perfect piece. They have industry veteran expert staff, all players like you down to the owner. You aren't just getting a great guitar, you're getting the Replay difference. Find them online at replayguitar.com and find your dream guitar today. Rockwood Saloon Authentic Apparel takes rock and roll fashion to a new level with their tees and tanks for men and women. They also make custom shirts, jackets, vests, pants, hoodies, beanies, and more. The Rockwood Graphics Department can design anything from your logo, t-shirt design, promo posters, band swag, and printed at great prices. From tour shirts and custom stage gear to killer threads for the street to the stage, Rockwood Saloon has it all. Rockwood Saloon, authentic rock and roll apparel for stage and street. World tour tested for quality, comfort, style, and durability. Check them out at www.rockwoodsaloon.com. That's rockwoodsaloon.com.
Hi, this is Bobby Brown, and welcome to another fucking podcast.
You kids with your loud music and your Dan Fogelberg, your Zima, hula hoops, and Pac-Man video games, don't you see? People today have attention spans that can only be measured in nanoseconds.
See, son, old legends never die. They just lose weight.
Like a legend and an out-of-work bum with a lot of life.
It is party time. Hello, Hollywood. Hello, world. And hello, my loyal minions. It is good to see you, and it's always good to be seeing a special noon edition of another effing podcast. Somebody's halfway across the world, and I got my skinny fat ass out of bed way too goddamn early. It's all that Jack Daniels' fault. Good morning, everybody. It is morning to me, I guess you would say. Do make sure you hit up all of the social media. Of course, the show page is another effing podcast, and all the entertainment media, of course, is at Real Izzy Presley. Make sure you go to those Facebook pages and hit that shop button. It is the season, everybody. You can buy t-shirts. I have a plethora of t-shirts. You know, we got the podcast shirts. We've got, you know, the Drunken Summit shirts. We have I Love Van Hagar t-shirts. We have I Don't Want Your Fucking CD t-shirts. We have a lot of good stuff. So check all that stuff out. And if you do want to support the show monetarily without buying shit, you are more than welcome to do that as well. Izzy Presley at Yahoo is your PayPal. Always happy to take, you know, free money. Free money is a good thing. And this one just kind of came about kind of quickly. Been talking to Jon Kirkman, who I know from the Cruise to the Edge and the Moody Blues Cruise, and it's going to be on the Blue Cruise this year, and he does all the hosting on all those, along with now Eddie. And but Jon's the guy. He knows much, much more than I, because he's got me by a couple... He's got me by a couple inches in the tooth, everybody. Jon Kirkman, everybody. Welcome to another fucking podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Hey, cheers, mate. You know.
Thank you.
Oh, my God. So, you're, well, we're going to talk about your books and all that shit in the second half of the show.
Yeah.
Because you've got a plethora of them, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
I've
got a few.
He's got a few. But you're what part of England are you from? Just
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Okay, so you grew up where it all happened.
And Paul McCartney's here tomorrow night.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I saw some video and it looked like he was wearing a bob wig. It was like he was at the old muff cut.
He's looking pretty good, I have to say. He's looking good and sounding good, and brought out a great album this year. And I got to say that because my friend works for him. So
aha, there you go. And this is going to be odd because I'm a metal guy. I'm the Monsters of Rock Cruise guy.
Too. Yeah,
but prog is more your wheelhouse.
Well, it is and it isn't. I mean, I like all sorts. I like metal too. I mean, I grew up with people like Van Halen and Judas Priest and Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin and Uriah Heep, all those bands. So, I've seen all of those bands as well over the years. Metallica, Megadeth, all great bands. If it's good, I want to hear it. If it ain't, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. Now, what era were you growing up in? Because I don't want to assume your age.
Well, I'll tell you, I was 60 in August.
Oh, okay.
And so I kind of grew up in the best era because all my mum's records were from the 60s bands and the Beatles, the Kinks, the Stones, the Who, stuff like that. And then I kind of got into the 70s when I was a teenager, and I started. The first guy I really chose for my big hero was Mark Bolan of T-Rex.
Oh yeah.
And then Bowie, and then it just kind of exploded like it does with kids of that age,
Yeah, for sure.
Into everything.
I had Peter Beckett from Player on the show.
Another Liverpool guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was telling me about it was like his very first show, or it was like his very first band, and they were opening, and it was The Who, Cream, and Hendrix.
Yeah, not a bad bill.
And like a small theater in fucking Liverpool or something like that, or somewhere in the
Probably.
UK. And do you have memories of being at shows like that would just kind of blow some people's fucking minds?
Well, I was 13 when I first saw Wings, Paul McCartney's post-Beatles band.
Okay.
And that was on their first tour. And funnily enough, I've just been sent by the very nice people who work for Paul McCartney, 2 box sets, the Wildlife box set and the Red Rose Speedway box set.
Oh, wow.
But all the big bands passed through Liverpool, so you'd see people like Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, The Who, Pink Floyd, so I've seen all those guys, pretty much. Anyone who is anyone came through Liverpool.
Well, it's funny, I saw... JG French, I heard a quote from him, or saw a quote from him where he was talking about how back in those days when you guys were going to shows, all the artists were 22, 23 years old. And nowadays it's not like that anymore because everybody's still going to see those bands, but those guys are in their 60s, and that's why there might be a disconnect between...
Well, they're older than that. Think about it. I mean, I'm 60, and they were like, when I got into them when I was 14, say, and they were 25, they're like 11 years old. They're in their 70s now.
Right. But you know what
I mean, Paul McCartney's 76.
Right, but you kind of know what he's getting at, though. There's a disconnect with the kids.
Yeah, there is. But then again, I mean, I've been to gigs where there's been more young people than older people. And it's weird. You think, well, where are they getting this from? And I guess they've either sort of ransacked their parents' record collection or their grandparents' record collection. And it's funny,
Right. Well, I mean, that's what happened I think that's what happens with everybody, though.
Yeah,
that's how I started.
I stole all my mother's records. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Do you remember the records?
Oh yeah, they're all Beatles records, and
of course they are,
and Stones, of course, Traffic. They were a big band for me, Traffic, and I didn't realize until she said, "Oh, that's Stevie Winwood's band," and I went, "What?" And she said, "Oh, the guy from the Spencer Davis Group." I'm going, "Hang on, Spencer Davis Group, but Stevie Winwood. Well, who's who here?" But it's funny because Dave Mason's on the Blue Cruise.
That's right.
So I'm looking forward to working with him.
I am too.
He's find a member of Traffic, so I'm looking forward to speaking to him.
Well, and that's
that kind of thing,
Well, it's funny, Dave Mason. It's like I know him from We Don't Disagree, and I don't
just disagree.
We just disagree. Yeah, but the same. Yeah, and but I didn't realize that he was in Traffic.
He was a founder member of Traffic. He also played 12-string guitar on All Along the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix, and he was a founder member of Derek and the Dominoes as well. So he played the very first gig with Derek and the Dominoes.
Holy shit!
He played the 12-string guitar, which is a big part of All on the Watchtower. That's Dave Mason.
Absolutely.
Track, so,
speaking of Hendrix, did you hear the Doug Pinnick Jimi Hendrix tribute record?
No, I've not heard that yet, but I've heard about it and I want to hear it.
Yeah, dude, it's really cool.
I mean, I do like King's X and I do like Doug. I think he's a great bass player and singer. So I definitely want to hear what he's up to with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had him on the show. He's like a staple on the show. He comes on, he just talks and talks and talks, and it's great. You just kind of let him roll. But he said that he was when they did that, they like used all the same gear, because they wanted to get that exact tones and the feel of the actual Hendrix shit, though. And it took a while to actually get it out because everything had to be approved, by the Hendrix people.
Well, I've interviewed Noel Redding, Mitch Mitchell, and Billy Cox in the past. I mean, I've been doing what I do for 43 years this year. I mean, and I'm stuck with it because they've given my paper round to somebody else now. So I've got to do this. I can't go back to the old job. So so I've been doing it for 43 years, and I haven't just done radio. I've worked with bands, and I've toured with bands. And I mean, I was 19, and my friend's band. I suppose they were considered like a boy band, really, except that they played their instruments and they could play their instruments. And we were headlining the Budokan. I was his tour manager.
Holy shit!
In 1977, I was 19. So, yeah.
Wow.
It was a big experience. Then we did the Philippines, and then we did the Sydney Opera House. So,
Jesus
big
Christ.
deal.
Well, what, were you doing that before you got into radio?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I did. I mean, I left Liverpool, went down to London to be a DJ. I was involved in a car crash. My friend's band, which I used to be in when we were at school, I was the bass player.
Really?
It was my fault that he got into this other band because my grandmother was the letting secretary of the community centre. And because she was the letting secretary, we were allowed in to watch these bands, and that they saw him play the guitar once, and this guy said, I know a band that are looking for a guitarist. So he joined this band. Within 2 years, they were signed to RCA Records and huge in Europe. And we had one hit single over here. I say we. I used to go everywhere with them and do the equipment. And they wanted somebody at their own age with them. So that's how I got in. And, So, like I said, I've never had a proper job. I've managed to avoid that for 43 years now. It's quite good, really, when you think about it.
Well, yeah, I'm very, very jealous of that. And, of course, you have a very important job at the same time, which is called wrangling the pussy.
Well, I've sort of I've got to say that, I mean, the days of sex and drugs and rock and roll are kind of over for me. I had to do rehab.
Right.
It was actually 23 years ago. Normal reasons, stupidity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And say for two instances, literally just the two instances, I've been clean and dry for over 23 years now. So, which is funny because working in this business, as you know, I remember your friend and my friend Larry. Somebody said to him, "Wow, Jon Kirkman knows everybody," and Larry went, "Yep, and they know him." And it's for the good reason. It's for the good reasons, not for the bad ones.
Right.
Yeah, which is always a good place to start from.
Right. Well, I mean, is it still a struggle for you? Being sober? No, not at all.
No.
I mean, you get on the boat.
No, the first 2 years. I mean, I didn't go anywhere for a year. If I smelt alcohol, it's, no, sorry, I had to be away from it. And you have to change your whole circle of friends. Because all the people you hang around with tend to do what you do. So
True.
It's, excuse me, you can't hang around with people like that. I mean, with the greatest respect, and thankfully, a lot of them have made it through and they've done the same thing. But I lost a lot of friends. You know, it's a fact. And it's one of those things. And I ultimately, and I'm not going to preach, but the bottom line is somebody said, what made you want to stop? And I told them, I always tell everybody, I didn't want to die. And that's really what it boiled down to.
Okay.
Real brass tacks stuff,
All right. So it wasn't like you had a holy shit moment, I need to stop. It was just, I just got to quit this.
Somebody once, this is quite funny, somebody once said I was worse than Jimmy Page, which made me laugh. I'm thinking, he's in Led Zeppelin. Let's be serious here.
Right.
Now, God bless him. I mean, I think every musician who goes through it, and if you work in the business, it's that very famous saying Charlie Watts said, when somebody said 25 years with the Rolling Stones at the time, what's it like? And he said, well, 5 years work, 20 years hanging about. And it is. I mean, you've done some film stuff recently. You know what? That's even worse. It's
my God.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah,
You know,
Jesus
and
Christ.
I've done loads of films with bands for, videos and interviews for their DVDs. And it's like, we're going to get this done before it goes dark. It's literally that hurry up and wait.
Yeah. It's like, well, okay, we need, we got to do the shot again, and we got to do it again. Okay, let's do it from another angle 5 times, and then another angle 5 times. It's like, Jesus Christ, come on. It's getting cold out here.
And then you've got what they call the noddies, which are afterwards, and you sort of see nodding sagely. Then they cut them in,
Yeah.
So, it's one of them things you kind of get used to. A bit like radio, sat in a room talking to yourself. If you did it anywhere else, you'd be locked up,
Yeah.
But, I'm reasonably good at it, apparently.
Yeah. It's great. You're crazy until you put a microphone in front of yourself. And then it's like, all right, cool. He's an entertainer now.
Oh, no, listen, there are days when I really shouldn't be allowed in front of a microphone. Really. I think you find everybody is like that in the industry. That everybody has days like those.
Yeah.
It's like one of them hands in the air, mother. What am I doing? One of them. But
my God. It's daily for me. Jacobus has joined the chat room. Jeff Jacobus, Jeff from the cruises.
I know Jeff, the love beast.
Yes. Hopefully he has pants on right now.
I think it's unlikely.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
But I think it's unlikely.
So all the years on the road, then how did you end up in radio after being on the road for so long?
Well, I always wanted to do that originally.
Okay.
That's why I went down to London. I kind of got sidetracked to hang around with musicians, and I always wanted to be a radio presenter. And luckily, it's like anything in this business. You know what it's like.
Yep.
Right place, right time,
Yep.
and you know someone. Hey, you'd be really good doing this, and that's how it started. And I worked for a lot of stations in the UK, and then I worked my way up to regional radio. And at one point, I had 1 million listeners, which probably isn't very many on the scale of American radio, but over here in the UK, 1 million listeners was pretty good. So. I've worked for a lot of pretty prestige stations over here. And now I have my own online station.
I love it. Oh, and speaking of radio, ladies and gentlemen, you can hear me Monday through Friday, 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. California time on the Monsters of Rock radio channel on the Dash Radio Network. It is a free app, satellite radio, live worldwide via satellite. And you can also stream it at dashradio.com/Monsters of Rock. We got some cool shit. We got Chips Enough on there with us, and Rudy Sarzo is doing a show every week now, and it's pretty cool. So you guys check that stuff out. It is absolutely free. So there you go. 1 million people. That's pretty big. Because it
is
in the States.
I mean,
look. I know you think that it's like, well, in the States it's probably not that big. Well, you got to remember, there's not a lot of stations. Well, at that time that were nationwide. This is like pre-internet, So, I mean, unless you're in New York, or Los Angeles, the chance of you broadcasting or 1 million people listening is pretty goddamn slim. So
well, it was a great show to do. I did it 6 days a week, which nearly killed me.
Yeah.
But it's one of them things, and I'm very much a believer in it. It's one of those things where you can either do it or you can't do it, and I enjoyed doing it as well. But you get some really weird things happen. I'd be at a concert and somebody come up to me and they'd talk to me like they'd known me all their life, and my girlfriend would say, "Who was that?" And I go, "I haven't the faintest idea."
Right?
And you go, "Hey, yeah, how are you? Who are you?" It's one of those. So
that's why I always say, "Hey, how you doing? Good to see you."
Yeah, I made the mistake once of somebody coming up to me saying, "Hey, how you doing?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "You don't remember me, do you?" "Of course I do." "Well, who am I?" "Actually, no, I don't."
Yeah.
Remind me. So I don't make that mistake anymore. I always say, "Remind me where I know you from." So
yeah, that's
I
what
don't
you
want
got
to be
do.
rude.
No, absolutely. Well,
these people, I mean, when people listen to you on the radio, you become like, I know it sounds a cliche that they invite you into their home.
Right.
And they think that they know you. They listen to you every day, and That's great. But so when you meet them, it's they just like putting the face to the voice, I guess, and they do feel like they know you, which is you know, which if you're like me, post rehab, you overshare everything, so they probably do.
Oh, pardon me. Well, I'm pre-rehab and I still overshare everything, so there you go. Well, when you got into radio, though, it was still real radio. It's not like it's
funny,
now.
I did actually work for a station called Real Radio, funnily enough.
Oh, wow.
And Real Excess and Century and Smooth Radio. I mean, I was a real... well, I draw the line at the word whore, but if somebody paid me to do a radio show, I'd do it. So I'd done all sorts. I used to do sports programs. Knew 7/8 of you-know-what about sport, really. But I had a good team around me. So it kind of made me look good. I'm coming out with all this info, which was being fed to me.
Of course.
And people used to say, I never realized he knew so much about sports. And I'm going, if only you knew. It's not me.
Well, let's be real, though. Soccer's not a sport.
I don't know. It's a bit more. It's a bit more of a thing in Europe than it is in America. I know that. So.
Yeah. I always joke that the only thing that's less popular than soccer in the United States is the WNBA.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
I have no idea.
That's the Women's National Basketball League. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we always say American football is like rugby. Only when we play rugby here, we don't use all the armor. So.
Yeah. Well, no, I can see that. They're turning into pussies.
I always say rugby over here is just an excuse to go out and give somebody a good kicking. It's the real rugby fans don't like that. Every time I see it, it's like, what? Would you call this sport? You can see that on the street every Friday night, kicking out time.
Yeah, right. Hey, talking about radio, though, I always talk about this a lot, and I talk about it a little bit on my show, and I kind of get in trouble because I ruffle some feathers when I kind of spill the beans about radio and bitch about radio and what radio's turned into, and it's just it's just liner jocks and fake content and blah 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 blah.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's never going to go back from that, is it?
No, the genie's out the bottle. It's a business. My opinion, for what it's worth, although nobody seems interested in listening in the industry, is that you can have a great business template, but you can also have integrity with what you do. But they don't seem to know that. In my opinion, in this industry now, you've got those who do, and they're the presenters who are generally switched on and pretty good at what they do if they're left to do it. And they can work within parameters, but then there are those who get the jobs telling you how to do it, even though they can't do it themselves. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it is sales-driven now. I mean, the tail's wagging the dog. You've got salespeople telling, radio presenters or MDs which songs they should be playing, and it's great. No link longer than 20 seconds. And it's like when you go and have a conversation with somebody, which is essentially what you're doing.
Right.
You don't think, I've only got 15 more seconds to get this across. You just talk to people.
Yeah.
And I think the art is lost now, because a lot of the presenters I hear are all talking this strange. I don't know what planet they're from. I don't think they're from planet Earth. They all talk like that.
Hey, everybody! Coming up at the top of the hour, we got some more weather for you. It's just...
You want to know what the weather... Listen, everybody knows.
Yeah.
The weather forecast is an excuse to get sponsorship.
Yep.
You want to know what the weather's doing? Look out the window.
Yeah.
All the weather forecast is on a radio station is an excuse to get sponsorship.
We have everything we need right here. We don't need to hear it on the fucking radio.
No, you don't. No, that's it. You don't.
There's a guy out of my old station in St. Cloud, in Minnesota, and he and I get a lot of my bitching from him, Aaron Imholt. I'm kind of an Imholt wannabe, I guess you would say, but his thing is like, look, you can listen to anything you want to listen to at any time of the day, whenever you want. It's at your fingertips. You have to have content. You have to be entertaining. I mean, what else? Why else is somebody going to listen to the radio then?
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, let's face it. Can you find a car now that doesn't either have an MP3 player or Bluetooth or a CD player in it? You try selling a car without a CD player and just the radio in it, see what the response you get.
Yeah, no,
it
exactly.
won't be very nice.
Exactly, and that's why I do what I do on the Monsters of Rocks. Like, I have carte blanche. They're just like, go, have fun. I mean, I did
the same thing at the. I was going to say, I did the same thing on the Moody Blues New Year's Eve party in Miami. And it was just, go on, do it. So we had some great fun. I brought over the guy who I work with at Classic Rock Radio, who's my producer at Real XS, and he's Callum, and Callum's a great guy, and he tech upped it. I did my stuff on stage, and that was it. We had a bit of a laugh, played some great music. So and at the end of the day, that's what it's about. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, I'm just trying to entertain people.
That's what it's all about. It's all about the goddamn entertainment. I wish radio would remember that, but it's all, like I said.
Well, those running it should remember it.
Yeah, well, I mean, those running it are failed program directors.
Well, that's it. I mean, most of the people I see in radio who are running radio, personally, I think couldn't run a bath. So and their CV should say "sacked from" at the top of it. So.
Well, that's why I never listen to consultants. I think consultants have destroyed it.
That's the problem. And they charged a fortune to destroy it as well. I mean, these guys don't come cheap.
No, they don't. And I don't know. It's bad. I could bitch about radio for fucking hours, but here's what we're going to do, John. We are going to take a short little break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about your books and some cruise stuff. And because I think there is still some room on the Blue Cruise, and I think there's still some room on Cruise of the Edge yet.
Not much, but
but it's getting close. So, but before we go to break, make sure you guys check out Beater Amplification. I know we have a lot of musicians and guitar players who listen to this show. Check out Beater Amplification. These guys are amazing. They are based out of Mankato, Minnesota, and hand-wired, hand-built, 100 watts of testicular fortitude. You go from that old school Metallica tone to that old school AC/DC and Kiss tone, and then you get that clean ass Fender tone all at the same time, tube driven. And the best part, you pull 2 tubes and you have yourself a 50 watter. I love it. So check those guys out, beateramplification.com. We'll be right back with more Jon Kirkman on another fucking podcast. RockstarLeatherworks.com is your home for badass rock and roll gear. Featuring 100% handmade leather bands, watches, cuffs, bracelets, and more, Rockstar Leatherworks has something for everybody. Whether you are going to the show or you are in it, you can find something to fit your needs. Choose from a variety of designs or create your own masterpiece. Their bands and watches are second to none. They also ship internationally. Who needs a stage to be a rock star? Check out RockstarLeatherworks.com.
Retro Arcade brings Minnesota and surrounding areas arcade games from the days gone by. All of those great games from pizza joints and arcades are available in cocktail units and custom machines. Dozens of favorites from your youth in one machine to complete your game room or man cave. Retro Arcade also sells and services your favorite pinball machines. Find them at facebook.com/80arcade. That's facebook.com/80arcade. Retro Arcade. Your youth is just one click away.
Ladies, Sass Pants Designs will take that rock shirt that everyone has and make it your own in a flattering, sassy, and simple way. There are one-of-a-kind tank tops, lace-up tees, and tube top dresses already in stock. Check out the online store at sasspantsdesigns.com and like Sass Pants Designs on Facebook for special offers and custom orders. That's sasspantsdesigns.com. sasspantsdesigns.com. Sass Pants will make you the envy of the party.
If you need to promote your band or business, or just want to stylize, personalize, or customize your ride, check out vid-decals.com. Want to create and customize your own stickers representing your band, or make your own bumper sticker? Vid Decals can do it. All stickers are printed on quality vinyl and can be placed on any flat surface. Stickers are an affordable way to promote your band or business. Go to vid-decals.com to get started. That's vid-decals.com. vid-decals.com.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tom Arnold. I like fat women and cocaine. And you're listening to Izzy Presley here on another fucking podcast. And I know Izzy from Cocaine Anonymous meetings. I've actually seen him at the meetings with Ace Von Johnson from. I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but Ace has got a bad coke problem, and his sponsor is Josh Todd from. And again, I shouldn't say this out loud, but Josh is his sponsor for Buck Cherry. He's addicted to upskirt porn, and they're both being sponsored by the Eagles. The whole band, the Eagles. Anyways, another fucking podcast right here with Izzy Presley, and call your sponsor. Fucking A.
Craig Gass is fucking hilarious. All right, welcome back to another effing podcast. Also make sure, because it is the season, you need gifts for people. Hit up AP Productions, AP Lasers. That's it's A&P Productions Laser Engraving Division. It's aplasers.com. You need something laser engraved, they can laser engrave anything. They just posted a video of them laser engraving a hot dog, and it was amazing. They can laser engrave the bun. They can whatever. They do a lot of gun shows in the central Minnesota area, but anything you need, you need the flasks, you need shot glasses. Of course, I'm talking to a sober guy and tell him he needs a shot glass. Mugs, whatever you need, they can do it. Just hit up aplaser.com for all that kind of good stuff. And also, if you need, you might know this guy, John. John Palumbo Design. Yes, our good buddy John Palumbo. If you need a band logo, you need any kind of logo done, a website, any of that kind of stuff, hit up johnpalumbodesign.com. And of course, we have the esteemed Jon Kirkman on the line with us here on this beautiful tad bit nippy Tuesday afternoon here in Los Angeles, California. It's like 62 degrees, so it's balls are kind of sucking back up into the body. It's frigid out here. It's got to be cold and rainy in England, right?
It's slightly colder and a little bit more rainy than it is there.
Yes.
I'd swap places with you right now.
It's I have a feeling that England is basically Seattle without the heroin.
Yeah. Well, it's funny though. Last year, or this year, I should say, this summer we just had was absolutely incredible. Very unusual. I'm sure all the people who get uptight about global warming and say, "Oh, it's worse to come," I'm going, bring it on.
Yeah, no
great,
shit.
Right.
But I'm
thinking sunshine. I remember that.
Yeah, you know what intrigues me, and I just thought of this, and that's why it intrigues me. You associate the climates are kind of the same, Seattle and England, and all the music that came out of Seattle was very dreary and depressing. But the music other than Black Sabbath that came out of like England and Liverpool and all that kind of stuff, it was always upbeat, fun rock and roll, right?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of, don't get me wrong. I mean, we've done some great doom metal bands. And
right.
Again, I've got to mention a band called Cathedral you may have heard of. My friend Brian is the drummer in Cathedral, or was. I don't think they're going now. So yeah, we kind of got the doom end of the market, and Sabbath from Birmingham. I mean, they really are legends. But we do that. Yeah, we kind of run the gamut, really. So we get the happy, slappy kind of good stuff, and the real sort of staring into your shoes kind of shoegazing stuff as well.
Shoegazing.
Yeah, hey, listen, you guys have got some great bands over there too. I mean, I can remember the first big American band for me was the Beach Boys, obviously.
Right.
A band who, let's be perfectly honest, it doesn't matter what time of the year it is, it makes you think of summer. So
absolutely.
That's a good sales thing. If you can fix that, that's great. But one of the big American bands I love with the Doors, Aerosmith, another great band as well, Lynyrd Skynyrd. I mean, I go on and on with American bands. Some amazing American classic rock bands and heavy rock bands and hair metal bands and all those bands. All great. Kiss, of course. Yeah.
Yes.
I can remember seeing Kiss. At a gig in Manchester. I think it was their first gig, and it was the Manchester Free Trade Hall, and we had the fire brigade inside the hall in case it burnt down. Because
Holy
Kiss,
shit.
obviously well known for using pyro.
Right.
And it wasn't. They weren't needed, of course.
Right.
Hey, didn't do Kiss any harm publicity-wise.
No, absolutely.
Great
band. What year was that? Was that
76? I think
76. Okay, so they were already on their rise to the top at that time.
Yeah, they were. I think it was around about the time of Kiss Alive. just after Kiss Alive, actually.
Yeah.
So maybe Love Gun might have been, or Destroyer, round about that era.
Okay.
But yeah, they were great. It was seriously good. And again, you get all this. Oh yeah, but they went crap when they took the makeup off. No, they didn't.
I agree.
They were great. I saw them without their makeup as well, and they were still great. You know.
They changed with the times. You know, that's all it was. The music changed with the times. Oh, April says hi. April from the Cruises.
Hey, April. Oh, she's a sweetheart.
Oh, she is. And, of course, Jacobus is still lurking. He does that good.
But he does that so well.
Yeah, it's like he'll hide in the corner and do something you don't want to know about, and then all of a sudden, bam, there he is again. All right, so your latest book, this is the Genesis and the Lamb Lies Down on Broadway?
Yes, that's the one. It was the last album the band made with Peter Gabriel, and I wouldn't say it was the best album the band ever made, but it's very special for a number of reasons. It was a concept album. Hey, who'd have thought it? A concept album from a prog band.
No!
Yeah, absolutely. That's a shock. So yeah, it was a concept album, the last album they made with Gabriel, and they've only ever played it, I think it was about 95 times, and that was it. You know, in its entirety. And they played the whole of the album in its entirety, which a lot of bands are doing that now. That's their big shtick now, isn't it? We're going to play this album in its entirety. Well, I'm afraid bands like Genesis and Yes were doing it back in the 70s. But so yeah, it's about basically the tour and the album. We've got comments from Peter Gabriel, Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford, Tony Banks, and Steve Hackett. 2 lengthy interviews with Steve Hackett, an interview with Tony Banks, an interview with a guy who was on the road crew, who's Mike Rutherford's guitar tech. Some of the people who worked for the band, also founder member Anthony Phillips, who was actually recording an album with Mike Rutherford parallel to the band recording The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. So there's a nice thing, and then loads of memorabilia, loads of pictures that had never been seen before, including some from a couple of guys from LA and California. So we got some pictures from gigs right the way across America and the UK as well. So it's not been seen before, a lot of them as well.
All right. See, and this is, I mean, I'm not a big prog guy because I can't do math. But are you a post-Gabriel Genesis fan, or do you love it all?
I am. I'm a huge fan. The first time I saw Genesis was with Peter Gabriel on the previous tour, Selling England by the Pound, and then I couldn't get tickets. It's ironic that I'm doing a book on The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. I couldn't get to see that show, but I got to see them a number of times after that, of course, when Phil Collins was singing with them.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, huge fan.
Yeah, huge fan. Well, you know, because you know how some Kiss fans are. It's like, if it's not Ace and Peter, I'm not a fan. You know, and there's got to be some fans like that as well with Genesis, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's like no Gabriel, no Genesis, and it's the same with Yes as well. I did a book on Yes, and if John Anderson isn't singing, it's not Yes, but except that John Anderson hasn't been in Yes for 14 years. So
right.
I don't know how they expect it. It's one of them things. You know, some fans are very partisan, and I get that. I dig it. And I get that a lot of fans have an affiliation with a certain lineup of the band because that's when they got into the band and that's the most exciting thing they ever heard. And I get that. That's what music's all about. But, you know, but band members, as you know, come and go. And so these days, some of them are going forever because they die.
Right,
as sad as that is. You know, thankfully, there's only been two members of Yes died. That's Chris Squire and Peter Banks, both founder members. But you know, it happens. And then there's the other thing, you know, the wife doesn't want me to tour with them anymore. She thinks I can make more money touring on my own. So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, and this epiphany just came to me, too. I'm starting to think that Kiss fans are like prog fans, except they like Kiss. They're just totally dorks. You know, we just suck it all in. And we're so opinionated, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, believe me, I've had my fortune told by many a Kiss and Genesis and Yes and Beatles and Stones fan.
Right.
You know that, but you know what? Isn't that what music's about? Aren't you supposed to be passionate about the things you like?
Yeah, absolutely. What was it? Do you remember the first prog band that you got into?
The first prog band I got into was Yes.
Okay.
Closely followed by Genesis, and then King Crimson, and loads of bands like that. But I mean, and it's funny because we had punk over here as well, and I was right in the firing line for punk. I was only 18.
Oh wow!
And half of the bands who said they were like as young as their fans were not. They were older.
Right.
But I managed to see the Sex Pistols. I saw the Clash. I saw the Damned. Because we, as well as having the Cavern in Liverpool where the Beatles started, we had a very, very important club called Eric's. And the Runaways actually played a gig.
Oh, wow.
Literally the night before it became Eric's, the Runaways played there. And I saw them there. And I'm friends on Facebook with Sherry Curry, who is an absolute sweetheart. I think she's done a couple of the cruises.
No,
and Lita Ford has.
Lita has.
But I thought Sherry'd done one. Maybe
I don't know.
Not, but...
April Jacobus, correct me if I'm wrong, because I have no idea.
Well, I might be wrong, but but they played Liverpool, and so Sherry Curry's one of my friends on Facebook. And I love those girls. They were a great band. I mean, all this kind of. Oh, there should be more girls in rock. Hey, there were girls in rock back then, and they were bloody great. So, let's not start whinging about this. Nobody's ever stopped women being in bands.
No, absolutely not. What were your thoughts on the Sex Pistols when you saw them?
A great band. Where there was a TV series over here called Steptoe and Son, and it was about father and son, and it was. A great band fronted by somebody who sounded like Old Man Steptoe, which is John Lydon, who was a fabulous frontman. And, of course, he lives in America. I think he lives in California, in Marina del Rey, somewhere there. But compelling. And, of course, this, hey, we can't play with just 3 chords, which was utter rubbish because most of them were pretty adept musically. But they were a great band, and it was exciting. But the big thing was, I like all this rock stuff too. Nobody's telling me what to do. So I had the kind of punk attitude.
Right.
I'll listen to whatever I like. And I did, and I still do. But, there's nothing like a bit of anarchy in the UK. Nothing like a bit of anarchy wherever you can get it these days, I think.
Yeah, no shit. I forgot where I was going to go with this. I had a thought, and I lost it.
So you were probably wondering where I was going from Pistols to Genesis.
I know. Well, let's take it a step further. Have you seen the Queen movie?
Oh, I love it. I mean, you could drive a truck through the timeline.
Well, yeah.
But you got to suspend belief on that because factually there's a lot not happening there, really. And, I mean, again, I didn't go to see Queen. I went to see Mott the Hoople, another great band.
Wow.
And Queen was supporting Mott the Hoople. And I was out, funny enough, with a guy. He used to work with Queen. He wrote their official biography, a guy called Jim Jenkins, very good friend of mine. And he asked me, he said, what was your first impression of Queen? And I went, Led Zeppelin with nail varnish, which is pretty much the way it was back then,
Yeah.
But I saw them in '73 when they supported Mott the Hoople. But I love the film. Brian May is scarily accurate.
Oh, really? Yeah, I haven't seen the film because I mean, honestly, I'm not a huge Queen guy. I like the hits, I like Stone Cold Crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, if you like the hits, you like the hits. I mean, you like what you like.
Yeah.
I think they're one of those bands where everybody knows at least one Queen song. So
yeah, absolutely. Have you seen a music movie like that has been actually accurate?
No.
No. All right. See, that's the thing.
I don't think any film. I mean, unless it's a documentary. But that's the problem. You get all the Queen fans going, "Well, this wasn't it. That wasn't in it." I'm going, guys, it's a film. I mean, if everything was in it as it was, you're looking at a six-hour film.
Yep.
You're looking at War and Peace in the cinema essentially,
right.
and it's like it's entertainment, and as such, Bohemian Rhapsody entertains. It's a great film. Go and see it. I've seen it 3 times now.
Oh, wow.
So, I'll tell you, but somebody else was going, it's like the Doors film, that was crap too. And I'm going, no, it wasn't. It was very good.
Yeah,
and,
I think
I like that too.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that people forget, that we just want to be entertained. It's like,
you want to sit in the cinema with your popcorn and be entertained. You're not going there to sit there like Rodin's thinker going, let me see how this film pans out. It's one of them things. You got to be entertained.
No, because
you want a documentary, there's plenty of them about.
Exactly. I was going to say, that's what us Star Wars geeks do. We just go to the movie and just bitch about how bad the movie is, even though we love it.
Yeah, but again, you see, I love all the Star Wars films, even the ones all the Star Wars fans don't like.
I
mean, I like the Solo film, but
I love Solo.
That's just me. But
right.
like, guys, it's just a film.
Right. Well, I mean, then we get back to the internet, and that's just gives people a chance to bitch, even though they shouldn't have. Some people it gives people the right to bitch, even though maybe this person shouldn't have the right to bitch. But people just it's like it's a way for them to vent, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
That makes sense.
Some of them do take it. It's. I always say the social media thing it's a real platform for the dispossessed. I mean, it really is.
Yep.
And there's usually some of them on there. They have no filter. I mean,
no,
really, Right. I mean, the sort of thing like if somebody said some of the things they say on Facebook to me, I'm sorry, guys, I'd end up having to pop you in the mouth. You know what I mean? It's like, really? Come here, let me explain how it is.
Keyboard warriors. Let's talk about what Tales from the Rock Vault and the Prog Vaults. Those are coming out.
Well, we have one volume of the Rock Vaults. Basically, it's a collection of my interviews over the last 40 years.
Oh, okay.
Loads and loads of people. Tales from the Rock Vaults, Volume 2, probably the end of this year, beginning of next. It's going to have things like with Jimmy Page in, which have never been published before. And then we've got lots of prog stuff as well, as you can imagine. And we've got things like Van der Graaf Generator, Genesis, Yes, King Crimson, all those sort of things. And next year, my own biography is coming out.
Really?
I'd like to say, I know it's called. I'll tell you why it's called. The title is the title. It's called "Is This Right?" And what happened was that in between jobs, sometimes you have to work in a proper job, and my nearest thing to a proper job was working in HMV Records, which is a record shop, which as we all know isn't a proper job.
Right.
You just play music all day and insult the customers for their taste in music.
Absolutely.
That's not a job.
Absolutely.
So anyway, every Saturday night, we'd take the takings to the bank and put it in what I used to call the hole in the wall, the night safe. Monday, we would go and collect the pouches and we'd take the change order. In other words, so all the loose change, so you'd have the change for the rest of the week. We had a work experience guy there, 16, and I just said, can you do the change order? Yeah. So the guy who's coming with me to the bank, we need to go now. Okay, got the change order. Hands me this piece of paper, folded paper. And I go to the bank. Anything else? You get the pouches back. Anything else? Yeah, you can have this, please. Hand her the piece of paper. And I'm carrying on a conversation with the guy I'm with, and she says, is this right? I mean, in hindsight, I tell him, I think, God, you cocky, you know what? I just went, yeah, right, yeah. Of course it is, yeah. Is this right? Yeah. Next thing, when you're kind of somewhere and everything's going on around you and you're not part of it. Oh, hey, the bank's closing. Next minute, there's police. So we get dragged into the bank manager's office, and he's, what's the meaning of this? Throwing the paper across the desk. So I pick it up, and I just burst out laughing, which was possibly not the best reaction to have.
Right.
And it said, this is a hold-up. Put all the money in the bag and don't say anything. Hence, is this right? Yeah. So you can imagine where that went.
Right.
We spent an hour getting I think as you put it in America, getting our butt kicked. Don't ever let that happen again.
No. Well, I mean, how do you hold up a bank in England? Because you guys don't have guns. It's like, I've got this banana. I've got a soccer ball.
If you don't give it to me, I'm going to ask again and say please.
Yeah. Bill Hicks had that famous thing about robbing a bank in England with a soccer ball. Oh shit, Ian, that's a Spalding. He's serious.
Oh, it's like in America. I mean, the police in America, and they look, wherever you go, the police do a great job generally. But in America, it's like, stop, please, and then they shoot you. Over here, Robin Williams said, stop, or I'll say stop again.
Right? Some hooligans knocked over a dustbin in Shaftesbury. Since the reason that we know each other is because of the cruises. We got the On the Blue cruise coming up, and we have Cruise of the Edge coming up. What are your thoughts on this round?
Well, I think, and you always think, it's not going to get any better than this. And every year, Larry, God bless him, he puts together a bill where you go, wow, he's got this guy on, he's got that band on, and he really does excel himself. And it's a tough job because, the guy, I take my cap off to him because he works so hard.
Absolutely.
I'm sure his wife kind of forgets who he is and what he looks like because he works so hard.
Right.
But he's got a great team around him. He's got Gene, of course. Gino, as I call him.
I love Gino.
The walking beard.
Yep.
I can remember Gino when, he was almost like a boy. He was beardless.
Yes, I remember that as well. Yes.
And then we got some of the guys, great guys on security like Jake and AJ, and just generally, it's a great team to work with and be a part of. And I was so happy to be asked, and I'm so proud to be part of the family.
And April,
of course, yes. April does a fabulous stand-up job. She looks after the artists when they're kind of riders and things like that, and in fact, she does all sorts of different things, and one of these real integral people who you might not see too much, but she's always doing something, always working behind the scenes. So, she works very hard.
Yeah,
we love you, April.
And then you got those karaoke hacks. But anyways, who are you excited to see this year?
Everyone.
Everyone.
Listen, mate, well, you get to my age, you're excited to see anyone.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is there anybody on the boat on either of the cruises that you haven't seen that are of the well-named bands?
No, I don't think there's anybody actually, because I kind of, without wishing to put it too bluntly, kind of put it about a bit. So yeah, I do know pretty much a lot of the people on these cruises, even some of the. But I know a lot of people on the cruises that I don't do. I know a lot of people on the Monsters of Rock cruises.
Right.
It is funny when you work in the music industry for 40+ years. You kind of get to meet most of these people.
Yeah, it's true.
So I haven't worn out my welcome yet, which is a good thing. So they're still happy to see me.
Well, I always love when you and Lon Friend get on Eddie's show and just kind of school him on prog and teach him, because Eddie knows nothing about prog. I love it.
But Eddie knows. People always say, "Oh yeah, Eddie." Eddie knows what Eddie knows, and what he knows is really good.
Right,
and it doesn't matter what anyone says. Eddie's he's a master of the art of conversation.
Yes,
he asks the right questions, and he does. He gets stuff out of these people that generally people don't get.
Right.
So he's a real. I like Eddie a lot. He's a real
do too.
pro.
I do too. And look, he's one of the reasons I got into radio, because I wanted to be Eddie Trunk,
Yeah, well. And of course, on the Cruise to the Edge, we got Roy Avin from the Prog Report, who does he was his first big cruise last year, co-presenting and hosting. And Roy does a fabulous job. He's got, I think, a podcast called the Prog Report. So, yeah, all good and well.
And if there's anybody out there that does not go on these cruises, I think they have they got a deal going on where you can go on both of them.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, I'm not sure. I forgot to mention Sal as well, who's on the Blue and the Moody's cruise.
Oh yeah,
another great guy. I'm just part of a team really, and I love doing it, and it's great. Like most people these days, having been in the business so long, when I get on a plane in Manchester, and it's just usually about the point where I'm putting my shoes back on, having gone through security, thinking, why do I do this? And I get on the plane, and I sit. The first thing I do is, what films do we have on here?
Yep.
And then I go, what am I going to eat? I'm, I guess, about halfway across the Atlantic, and I'm in the zone then.
Yep.
And, and that's it. And I love doing it, and I'm treated so well over there by all you guys.
God, they really take care of everybody so good. Just to be a part of that family is, I can't believe I'm a part of that family, But I suppose
all the people who go on the cruises are good as well.
They're very
welcoming.
Absolutely.
Very welcoming.
Absolutely. And well, I suppose it's good for you because you're halfway across the Atlantic and you see the temperature in Florida when you're landing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Listen, we did a cruise once in November. Normally they're kind of beginning of the year, but we did one year. I think it was 2015. And funny enough, Jeff Jacobus was there. He'll confirm this. We were out, and because we don't get rain like you get in Florida, really.
Right.
Like, what it's like, and it was warm, and it was like standing in a shower at home. I'm going, I went out and stood in it. So that's how unusual it is. Yeah, I need to get out more. I know. But,
dude, I know.
But it is. It's it's really nice and warm, and I love it.
Yeah, so guys, make sure you check out cruisetotheedge.com, and is it onthebluecruise.com, I think is the new site for that one this year.
Yeah.
Which is basically it's basically the same as the Moody Blues cruise, except there's no Moody Blues this year.
No, but Justin Hayward's heading that up, and John Lodge is a special guest on Cruise to the Edge.
Oh, okay.
And he's been a guest on Cruise to the Edge before, of course. And he's got a great band, members of the Moody Blues, funny enough, the touring band. So it's great. And he does Moody songs, and I know Justin's going to be doing Moody Blues songs.
Okay.
It's all going to be good. So it's kind of more for your money, really.
Right. And all of you Cruise to the Edgers, I know all you guys go down to the that jam every night, but what you're missing in karaoke is all the artists come up to karaoke. So you guys are missing that while you're down there watching your peers play. Just keep that in mind.
The karaoke is a very, very important part.
I agree.
I mean, you see all life.
Yes, absolutely.
Room, I think it's fair to say.
Absolutely, and you get to see Brian make fun of me.
Well, yeah. Well, Brian makes. Do you know what? Brian makes fun of everybody. He doesn't make fun of me. Bless him. A man is such a. I know. Probably you're going to laugh, and a lot of people are going to laugh. He's a real sweetheart. He always is very nice to me. They say, hey, what do you want to do? Do you want a drink? Let me get you a drink. And it's like, I can't do enough for that guy.
Yeah, Brian's great.
I love him to bits.
I wouldn't be able to do it without him. I mean,
I did see a thing. I do remember seeing a wonderful sticker on his back which said, "I'm working off."
Yeah,
I thought,
John, it's okay.
I need a T-shirt.
You can say fuck on this show. It's called Another Fucking Podcast.
I'm from England.
Oh, that's right. You're prim and proper. I apologize.
I can almost hear all my friends laughing about that. Yeah.
All right, buddy.
I'm from England. I worked in the music business all the time. I use the F word to split words up,
Oh, I know. It's like an adjective. It's like that old Carlin bit. You can
Look, I'm sick of hearing people saying, "Oh, people who swear, they don't have a very good vocabulary." I've got a fucking great vocabulary. I just like saying fuck,
Absolutely.
There
John,
you
go. We're going to wrap this bad boy up because Days of Our Lives is coming on and I have priorities. I have my soap operas. What can I say? People want to find you online. You got Twitter, you got Instagram. You do any of that stuff?
Yeah, we've got I'm Jon, Jon Kirkman, Kirkman, as somebody pointed out to you before.
Yes.
And
yes.
It's Jon. It's jonkirkman.co.uk where you can get the info on the books and buy the books. And they're limited edition. There's only 300 of the hardback of the Genesis book and 200 of the softback. I think we've only got 20 of the softback left and 150 of the hardback. So it's going quickly.
Well, I tell you what, man, I have a lot of music geeks that listen to this show. So it's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, because you were a plethora of knowledge and we just kind of scratched the bald spot on it at this point.
I know, we did a bit. Yeah,
so,
but we'll do it again sometime.
Dude, anytime you want, man. Anytime you got something to promote, man, just say the word, and we'll do it again. And hopefully, I'll get famous enough for you to interview me at some point.
Oh,
working on it.
I'd love to. We'll work on that.
All right, just hold tight. We'll say goodbye off the air. Let me hit my outro music here really quick. Oh my God, there it is. Oh, all right, folks. We'll see you next week. I still do not know who the guest will be. Of course. You know how I roll. It'll just, this is who we're having on this week. There we go. And make sure you do check out cruisetotheedge.com and ontheblue.com if you guys want to come on to a plethora of music deepness, I guess you could say. I don't know how the hell I came up with that. But also, please make sure you hit up all the social media at Real Izzy Presley all the way across the board, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And, of course, the show page is Another Effin' Podcast. Go buy a T-shirt. Ship worldwide. Just click that shop button on the podcast page or the Real Izzy Presley page. Donate to the show. IzzyPresley@yahoo.com. Hey, man, I'll beg for money. I'm not proud. And also hit me up on the mornings on the Monsters of Rock Radio on the Dash Radio Network. It is free satellite, baby. Download the app. We'll see you next week. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Izzy Presley. Don't forget, what I lack in talent, I do make up for in cock. This has been Another Fucking Podcast.